Ray, good to be here. Following Scott is not an easy gig, as you know. But no, I've been with Sportsday, I guess, since 2010. I still write with the Queens Chronicle. It's still the primary outlet, but I love being around these guys. You know, there's a certain camaraderie that you get here with Sportsday, and these guys are hustlers. I mean, you watch them, they have to fight for everything. This isn't like The Athletic where some multi-gazillionaire in Toronto just happens to be Queens, tells every reporter hire, you're in, and you get the golden credential. We don't get BBWA access. We have to hustle.
That's unbelievable. And what are you foreseeing for this coming year?
Well, I can see Sportsday certainly growing. I think, and you know, the funny part is the big boys and the print guys, and I'm a print guy too, so I'm not, I'm kind of in a weird world here. But I don't get the love that the dailies get. But they don't take guys on the road anymore. The Daily News, when they said something, I actually see bylines where it says like Dateline on it. I say, Chris Diaca, they must have saved their pennies and let them go. I mean, it's just, we're hustling. We are there. The game is changing up. Sports PR guys are a little slow to the trough on this, but they're getting it slowly but surely.
What do you see the future?
Well, it's like everything else. There's going to be a shakeout. I'm not saying every website is going to succeed, but that's what makes what Joe does so special. He's been able to put a staff together and keep it there under some tough conditions. And you put the content out there. I'll put our content up against The Athletic, and we have real readers. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Sportsday. It's funny, when I'm on the road, I'll be out in California. I get my primary source by going to Sportsday. Before I go to the Post, the Daily News, I'll check them out. But Sportsday is where you get it all easy to read and some intriguing opinion.
Now let me ask you. I know you've been covering this.
Sure.
Do you see the Yankees getting Machado?
You know, it depends on need. Ray, you know the team probably better than I do. I'm just wondering, I know Didi's hurt, but is that worth, a long-term obligation? I mean, look what happened with Cano. Remember 5 years ago, how could the Yankees go Cano? How could that be? Well, it turns out the Seattle Mariners are only too happy to rid themselves of a liability. The Yankees are very strategic that way. They understand it's nice to win the back page tabloid. I don't think the need is there. You've got Miguel Andujar. You've got Didi will be coming back, and they can put together enough to get them through. They don't need Machado. And I respect Matty. This is not, he doesn't have an attitude. I think he's a fine player. That kind of got blown out of proportion. I have friends that live in the Baltimore, Washington area, and he's a fine guy. So we're not talking about hustling. He's an excellent player. I just don't think the Yankee need is there to tie up payroll when there could be other needs that come up during the year. And one thing about Brian Cashman, very, very strategic. So I don't think they can get him if they want him. I don't think they need him.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Give us a message as far as Christmas for our fans.
The most important thing is funny. As you get older, Ray, we always think, okay, get everything you want. Health is the most important thing. If you have health, family health, everything comes from that point. So everybody when we say healthy and happy New Year, the emphasis is definitely on happy, but also on healthy.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Feliz Navidad, Ray.
Feliz Navidad, babe. Thank you.
John Wagner's in the house.
John Wagner. Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
John Wagner is here. John, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
So, how long have you been writing for Sportsday now?
It's about maybe 9, I don't even know anymore, 9-10 years I think about now. I think about 2009, so 9 years.
What's your specialty as far as being a writer is concerned?
For New York Sports, I cover the Knicks and Hofstra basketball.
So you, believe it or not, you actually have the best beat because you have the Knicks.
It's arguable. It's good, but obviously there hasn't been a lot of winning there over the last few years. So, but at least this year, finally there is some potential, and there are some young pieces that the fans are keeping an eye on, see if they grow, see if they develop, as opposed to the past when it was pretty much washed up veterans that didn't have it anymore and didn't work out, didn't fit right. So at least there is the potential this year and this excitement around that, but still very little certainty with the Knicks right now.
Have you had a chance to interview the owner of the New York Knicks?
I have not. I saw his the 7,500 word piece from Ian O'Connor that detailed a lot of that. I haven't had a chance to do that myself, but But we get enough insight about him, what he's like from seeing.
But isn't it like, for instance, writers used to love to cover George Steinbrenner. They always wanted that, what do you call it? Isn't that the same with you?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I just don't have that access, but I interview all the players and coach, and so we get enough from that. But from the ownership side of things, yeah, we don't really touch that part of it.
Have you gotten the chance to do any baseball yet?
Occasionally, I've done some Met games here and there, sprinkled in here and there.
Which is your favorite sport?
Basketball. Yeah, basketball is still my favorite. Love the NBA, love college basketball, but love football, love the NFL, and baseball, but still NBA and college hoops still my favorite.
The end of the day, where do you see the Knicks? Where do you see the Knicks in May and June?
May and June, determining who they're going to draft in the lottery yet again. But hey, in the past, they didn't even have a pick because they were foolish enough to trade those away. So at least now they're holding on to their picks. It's not where you want to be yet, being in the lottery. You'd want to obviously contend and be in the postseason, but it's a step in the right direction from where they've been, because in the past they couldn't even pick. At least now they can pick, and they can try and hopefully build off of that and add some pieces. They have the cap space as well, so we'll see if what they can do with maybe one or two max free agents coming in this summer. But the thing is, you have to get Porzingis back on the court to show that he could play, because if you're a free agent and you don't see a healthy Porzingis and you don't see some of these young pieces developing to the point where they show that they can start to build something, then if you're a max free agent, why would you come here? Other than just the lure of New York, which a lot of people I think make it out to be is a little overrated, because players have proven, you can win in small markets these days. You can be a star like Giannis in Milwaukee. You could be a star in Oklahoma City. You could be a star in Oakland, Golden State. It doesn't matter anymore. New York's not the draw that it once was. Max free agents want to win. They want titles. They want to know that they can compete legitimately for titles. And the Knicks are so far away from that. So they have to show that at least they're taking a step toward that to make it attractive enough for those guys to want to come here.
You have to battle the Daily News, New York Post, New York Times. Is it tough being New York Sports Day and trying to get the same respect?
When I'm in the locker room, no, because I'm kind of like Enes Kanter, boxing out, getting right there alongside the player, getting every interview. I'm usually asking the question before those guys are, or next one right after, and I'm right there, right alongside them. And sometimes a lot of those guys have come to me for information after in the media room and say, "Hey, what was the answer to that? What question was that?" And sometimes I'll share if they're nice to me enough. And so from that standpoint, no, but from access standpoint, it can be a challenge. We used to do 25, 30 games with the Knicks, and this year with some new PR guys are kind of limiting that a little bit, but we're trying to still, I'm putting more articles out there even if I don't cover the games, and we're trying to work on that a little bit and get back to where we were with the coverage.
Anyway, good luck. I know it's tough, but don't let them take your games away. Let them get you some more. At 25, you need to have all games.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, we're trying to grow. Obviously, Joe's trying to grow it. Who knows? Maybe we'll be doing road games.
Give them more games. Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Let's go. Hobbling along. Full name? Paul Schwartz. Paul Schwartz. Schwartz. Schwartz.
Paul Schwartz.
Nice job.
Get it right. Peter Schwartz. Schmuck.
Paul Schwartz writes for the New York Post.
Oh, okay. Peter Schwartz. Peter, how are you, brother?
Doing well, Ray. Good to see you.
Now, how long you been writing for New York Sports Day?
I have been with New York Sports Day since October.
And how is it so far?
I love it so far. I was with another website before coming over here, and Joe's been a terrific editor, and it's been great to join the team and get a chance to write and do my podcast. It's been awesome so far.
Do you see growth happening?
Well, if Joe's in charge of it, absolutely. He's done a great job. I've known Joe for a long time, and I remember when he started the website, and from where it started to where it is now, is unbelievable. And one of the reasons why I switched websites was I saw the growth that he's already already had with it, and where it's going to go in the future.
So you really think that it can go someplace?
Absolutely. You have a lot of talented writers and people doing podcasts at this website, and it's really, to me, it's always been a go-to website for people that want a little different point of view than what you would get in the newspaper.
How can we get it to to that next level from a kick-ass standpoint?
I just think people have to give it a try. I think the more games people get out to, the more different types of events, not even in the main sports, but the minor sports. I like to write about the sports that nobody else likes to write about. I'll do soccer stories, I'll do lacrosse stories, and minor league things like that. I think the more people we can expose the website to, the people will start talking about it. When I switched websites from the other website I was working for, and I told people I was writing for New York Sportsday now, they said, "Oh, I know that website." So you wouldn't have had that a few years ago.
Do you see the factor that he's trying to get into all the different sports as a plus for New York Sports?
Well, absolutely, because that's the way the website's going to take off. If you have a fan of lacrosse or a fan of soccer, and they can't get stories in the mainstream media, we're a place they're going to get it at. But it's also a place, Joe's at every game. Everybody here in this room tonight, they cover New York sports like a blanket. Now, we have to get to the point where all the teams let everybody in every single game, and then we're talking about something. But I think we're heading in that direction.
Do you feel that we have to be like the tough guy per se? Like, we're not going to let you push us around anymore. We're taking what we got to take in order to do a good job for the people of New York.
I think everyone that works for our website just has to go to these games with the confidence that they belong there, and that they shouldn't be made to feel that they don't belong, because we do. It's an accredited member of the media, and everybody that writes for this website, everybody that hosts a podcast for this website has been around the New York sports scene for a long time. And I think when people come to the website, when I started writing for them a couple of months ago, and I directed people to come see my stuff at the new site, they're like, well, that's a pretty cool website, a lot of good stories to read. More and more people are finding it, and once that big number finds it, the teams are going to have no choice but to give more access and allow more people in.
Well, as big as you are, we got to put you in the forefront to knock some heads so that we can get in there and cover all the big events.
Well, I don't mind mixing it up a little bit, but I'm kind of on the injured reserve list right now because I broke my hip in July, so I'm still on the mend for that. But you know what? Middle of July, if I get doctor's clearance for physical activity, then if you need me to break some knuckles, then we'll see what I can do.
Thank you, brother. Have a Merry Christmas. You hear me?
You too. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
I was thinking of taking my kids to the football.
Welcome back to Reach Out at this year's 2018 New York Sports Day Christmas Party, brought to you by Mikkeller NYC. Brewed and canned by Mikkeller Brewing, New York City, Citi Field, Flushing, New York. And we're here with Rich Mancuso, one of the all-time great writers. He was one of the pioneers at the Fan, WFAN in New York at the very beginning. He was in the forefront. If you were driving home at night, you could hear Richie Mancuso singing it to you live. I'm in living color as Rich Mancuso. So, Richard, how are you?
It's nice to be here. It's good to see you. It's been busy, thank God. Boxing's hot. That's everyone knows I'm Mr. Boxing. So
Well, it's either you or Wally Matthews. I mean, it's going to be one or the other. But I
Wally
like
and I
to
are starting a show together on the Fantasy Sports Network.
tell us a little bit about that.
All boxing once a week. We started our first show last week. We should debut for sure in January. We'll have the top people in the sport on. It's going to be seen on Fantasy Sports Network, which is a huge network, big platform.